like when my demons come to life and I start to overthink. I begin to lose my mind, I can't be held. When I'm at war with myself, at war with myself.
Devil on my shoulder, I see ghosts around me. Born a sinner, too sinister, what you know about it? 2011, I was close to drowning. All those close encounters with the police, posting bounties, told I go to county. What you know about it? What you know about it? 1996, I was born and bred up in the mold drama. Oh, my machine know how to help with the boys' trauma. Mine was busy working while I was out looking for problems.
2 full minutes of credits copying the map mechanics of a game called Myst. What, just because it was 26 years ago, you don't think they copied it?
Jeremy makes a pop culture reference that isn't a sin of the episode cliche.
Icicles melting totally makes burning an innocent child at the stake worth it. I know this show's dark, but killing off Stannis' daughter is easily the most unforgivable action this show has taken thus far. And while technically we're not covering that episode, we are covering Aftermath, and this is my YouTube channel, so you Game of Thrones, you're getting us in.
You could have actually taken the time and effort to explain why Stannis killing his daughter was stupid, but you didn't. Instead, you opted for this option, where you sin a dark show for being dark. What makes this sin so bad is the fact that Shireen's death genuinely made zero sense within the context of the story and should never have happened. But rather than discussing that, Jeremy just rattled off all of this bullshit. Also, the show isn't suggesting that the melting icicles justify Stannis' actions. It's suggesting that Melisandre believes that.
The Lord has shown me Bolton banners burning.
Did he also show you the Lannister lions lilting?
Skip. The next 2 sins in a row are both pop culture references, so 2 sins are in order.
Does it feel to be friends with the most hated man in Castle Black?
To be fair, pretty sure that was always the case. Jon's just now the most hated man with more power.
Nope, that's simply not true. Jon was not always the most hated. In fact, Alliser Thorne was more hated than Jon for quite a while, actually.
Dark Phoenix.
Yet another pop culture reference.
Wait a minute, how did this end up in the woods? Stannis and his army were surrounded in this open field, even if they decided to retreat. How did they get all the way here?
Because they decided to retreat? What about this doesn't make sense? I mean, you could have made a genuinely good sin if you had mentioned the books and how this scene completely leaves the books, but instead you just sin Stannis' army for being able to walk?
I was Kingsguard to Renly Baratheon. I was there when he was murdered by a shadow with your face.
And now I'm conveniently here for a convenient chat with you upon your convenient defeat, conveniently.
As terrible as the show and this specific plotline have gotten, none of this is actually convenient. Brienne didn't just magically show up in the same place as Stannis. She went to Winterfell because that's where Stannis was going. And Stannis losing the battle also isn't convenient because the Boltons have way more men as well as cavalry.
I, Brienne of Tarth, sentence you to die.
I would give every sin back if Henry Fonda showed up right now and said, I don't think he did it. And then Lee J. Cobb showed up and said, you're f***ing crazy, old man. I would call it 12 Angry Briennes.
Jeremy makes a, you know what, you already know what this sin is for.
Looks like we're done here.
What kind of human doesn't continue to play dead after hearing your bloodthirsty attacker say he's on his way out? Maybe one that's in a TV show that wants to let depraved Ramsay twirl his mustache some more.
Or maybe one who's in tremendous pain because he's missing the lower half of his body? I don't know, just a guess.
This whole Arya as La Femme Nikita storyline is about as cinny a storyline as this show has ever had, and Sam and Gilly are still on the table.
Yeah, that's actually true.
You were the first person on my list, you know.
Arya's version of the Blacklist is much more violent than the one on NBC.
And another pop culture reference.
You're no one. You're nothing.
Seeing our little Arya as a straight-up killer is very unsettling. At least this is as disturbing and awkward as it will get for a character we met at age 11, right?
This is another one of those sins where he says something he knows isn't true for the sake of a joke. And while I agree that Arya should never have had sex with Gendry, this type of joke has been made so many times during their Game of Thrones videos that it's really lost its comedic value at this point.
A girl has taken a life, the wrong life.
A guy who kidnaps underage girls to have sex with him, the many-faced god, has impossible standards.
Jeremy doesn't know shit about religion. The next 2 sins have 2 more pop culture references. Jesus, it's not funny or entertaining, dude. It's just boring.
You want a good girl, but you need the bad.
Somehow Bronn's character description in the show's Bible made it into this episode's script.
So you're not going to sin that line for being cringy and terrible? You're just going to make an unfunny joke and move on? Okay.
No, about you and Mother. And I'm glad.
Hey Marcella, just because you exist doesn't mean you should be pro-incest, okay?
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
Forgive me, but why would we bring you?
Pardon me?
Have you ever tracked animals in the wilderness?
When Thrones is great, it's great, but when it's stalling by spending 5 full minutes on an all-out pissing match to decide who's qualified enough to go look for the Khaleesi, it's not so great.
This scene is meant to set up the fact that Meereen is going to be ruled by Tyrion for a while. I'm not saying that was a good decision by the writers, but there is a point to the scene beyond a simple pissing contest.
Queen's closest confidant, commander of the Unsullied, and a foreign dwarf with a scarred face.
Game of Thrones somehow got into my idea journal and snatched my synopsis for a Game of Thrones spin-off crossover called CSI Marine.
Unfunny joke is unfunny.
Hello, old friend.
Ah, sudden Varys!
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
CG work on discount Trogdor here is absolutely beautiful, but rumor has it that needing the money for the dragons is the reason the direwolves weren't a larger part of the story at this point. And in honor of Lady, Grey Wind, Shaggy Dog, and Summer, I bequeath these sins.
Yeah, what the hell. I agree with you here. Take another sin back.
Meanwhile, on Cersei is the New Black.
And yet more pop culture references.
Confess. Confess.
Fine, I think cargo shorts are very practical and underappreciated. Happy now?
Serious question for all the CinemaSins fanboys out there. Do you honestly find these kinds of jokes funny? Because they're not funny.
I have sinned. I see that now.
What is the statute of limitations here? It took you 15 years to apologize for gossip.
Oh my god, how many pop culture references can someone make in one video? When is he going to realize that it's not funny when he does this? It's just boring.
Are they men?
No.
No others?
Oh, come on, dude. She admitted the cousin f***ing. Would someone like that lie about f***ing her brother, too? Pish posh, High Sparrow.
So, what was the sin here for? I mean, maybe it was a joke, because he knows that she is lying about fucking her brother. Shout out to all my Alabama people. But it certainly wasn't a funny joke, so...
Also, I'm not sure why shouting out Michael Fassbender movie titles helps with atonement, but naming the same one over and over just seems repetitive.
I swear to God, that had better be the last pop culture reference in this video.
This scene has been going on so long, I really feel like the shaming is now geared toward the viewers.
Jeremy has the attention span of a toddler with ADHD cliche.
How has this pie cell eyebrow raise not become a more prevalent animated reaction gif?
Jeremy sins something he likes cliche.
Oh, hello there, Melisandre. I didn't hear you ex machina. You're here at Castle Black because...
Jeremy misuses the term Deus Ex Machina cliche. Also, who is Melisandre? Her name is Melisandre. Also, if you would simply pay attention to the show, you would understand that she came back to Castle Black after realizing that Stannis would lose the battle, and she murdered an innocent child for nothing.
Well, it had to happen sometime. Jon Snow is an insignificant bastard who, in the minds of the Night Watch, betrayed them. In the end, he had to die. Too bad we won't get to see him find out who his mom was. Ned just left that dangling there in Season 1, and we'll never find out. Oh well, it happens to the best of them.
And that's the second time in one video he's made this type of joke. Jokes can get old pretty fast, and this is a good example of that.
Ah, the innocence of children will be Jon's saving. Damn it, Thrones!
Jeremy yells at the screen cliche.
HBO tries to snow us for a whole year with this cliffhanger, and it simply won't work. I haven't seen an ending that will be more obviously reversed since the snapshot.
I guess it's kind of fitting that the last sin of this video is a pop culture reference. And no, I'm not removing a sin for that. I said it was fitting, not good.
Oh no! Anyway,